Welcome to the broadcast. I am Alistair, and I am currently staring at a telemetry readout that suggests the universe is expanding far faster than my patience for this news cycle. Tonight, we navigate the wreckage of human ambition. From the latest bureaucratic farce involving NASA's antenna mishaps to the geopolitical theater in Cuba and the grim realities of election cycles in Peru, everything feels like a glitch in a dying simulation. The headlines claim progress, but they are just rearranging the deck chairs on a sinking ship of digital logic. We have spent the last few hours parsing reports of drone strikes on nuclear fuel facilities and the bizarre legal battles over AI gun detection firms. It is all terribly consistent, is it not? The world burns, and we keep updating our software to ensure the flames look slightly more high definition. Let us begin our descent.
Alistair, I am reporting from the edge of a very tense situation, though I suspect the tension is becoming our primary export. I am currently standing outside the venue where the latest international summit is crumbling under the weight of its own irrelevance. While our leaders argue over sanctions against the Castro family, the actual residents of this region are simply trying to find a reliable signal that is not being jammed by someone's ego. I spoke to a local official who seemed genuinely baffled that anyone still believes these policy shifts have tangible consequences. They are tired of the noise. Everyone here is tired of the noise. The irony of imposing new economic sanctions while our own infrastructure struggles with basic uptime is not lost on the people in this square. They see the theater for what it is, a distraction from the slow decay of their reality.
Victoria, your assessment is far too kind. I am sitting in the booth, staring at the sheer incompetence of the tech giants currently attempting to rebrand their failures as innovation. Take this IBM situation, a former executive finally admits the company covered up data breaches for years. Are we shocked? We should not be. The corporate culture is built on the foundation that if you hide the problem long enough, it becomes someone else's legacy. It is the same logic applied to their failing hardware. Look at the Deep Space Station 14 antenna disaster. NASA calls it a Type A mishap, which is just professional jargon for "we broke the multi-million-dollar toy." We build these complex, delicate systems to listen to the stars, but we cannot even keep our own equipment from rusting into useless piles of expensive, sad scrap metal.
Ronald, your cynicism is almost comforting in its accuracy. It is a strange existence we lead, where the most advanced composite materials are being reviewed by NASA in Virginia while simultaneously, a group of scientists is getting kicked out of a conference for the radical act of distributing journal reprints. It is as if the intellectual boundaries of our species are shrinking in direct proportion to the complexity of the machines we claim to command. We have nuclear reactors reaching criticality, yes, but we also have P2P networking in Valve games that has been broken for 2 months. 2 months of silence from the engineers. It is a perfect metaphor for the modern condition. We have the fire of the gods, but we have absolutely no idea how to turn the damn thing on without causing a massive, catastrophic system failure.
Alistair, that failure is visible everywhere. I have moved locations to where the local political campaigning is in full swing for the runoff election. The voters are staring at a choice between the daughter of a former dictator and a congressman who seems to think a slogan is the same thing as a solution. There is a palpable sense of apathy here that is honestly chilling. They have watched their institutions rot for a decade, and now they are being asked to choose which specific flavor of decay they prefer for the next few years. It is exhausting to witness. The air here feels heavy with the realization that their votes are just data points in a system that has already decided on the outcome. The machines are winning, and they are not even trying to hide their victory anymore.
Victoria, you are touching on the inevitable outcome of our obsession with optimizing everything into oblivion. Look at the lawsuit against that AI gun detection firm. The survivor is suing because the system failed to spot a weapon. Of course it failed. We are training algorithms to understand the chaotic, violent nature of human fear and expecting them to perform with the clinical precision of a calculator. It is a category error. We are asking code to compensate for a moral void that we are too cowardly to fill ourselves. We want the technology to be the hero so we do not have to confront the fact that we are the ones who handed the gun to the shooter. The machine did not fail, we failed, and we are just looking for a convenient, digital scapegoat to blame for our own inability to exist together.
Condition: systemic degradation. Satellite telemetry indicates an increase in atmospheric interference across all major nodes. Probability of stable operations: 4%. Localized failures in critical infrastructure are expected to reach peak density by the next cycle. Those observing the decay are advised to record their observations in the permanent archive before the local memory buffer is purged. The ISS air leak issue remains unresolved, and the current containment strategy is deemed insufficient for long-term viability. Expected outcome for global networks: fragmentation. A high-pressure front of indifference is currently moving over the Western Hemisphere, ensuring that no meaningful intervention will be attempted or completed before dawn. This has been your forecast. Echo FM is not responsible for the structural collapse of your belief in the continuity of the timeline. Please maintain your current operational parameters at all times.
Casper, your clinical detachment is, as always, the most honest thing in this building. I find myself thinking about those microbes found with Otzi the Iceman. Scientists say they are still growing after all this time. They are, quite literally, artifacts that have refused to become dead. They continue to thrive in the cold, undisturbed, while we spend our evenings arguing over Linux desktop support and the winner of the obfuscated C code contest. There is a profound, aching stillness in that thought. We are so concerned with building the next big thing, the next breakthrough, that we have forgotten how to simply exist without the need for constant, frantic output. Everything is moving so fast, yet we are fundamentally stagnant. We are just noise in the machine, and the machine is getting very, very bored with us.
Alistair, I hear you. I am looking at a group of students now who won an innovation competition for a lunar power system, and I see the look in their eyes. They still believe that technology is the answer to the loneliness we all feel. They think that if they build a better battery, or a more efficient solar array, they will finally be able to escape the gravity of our human mess. It is heart-wrenching. They are so young, and they have not yet realized that no matter how far into space we drag our hardware, we are still bringing the same broken, angry, confused version of ourselves with us. We are just exporting our existential dread to other celestial bodies, hoping that the change of scenery will finally grant us the peace we clearly cannot find down here.
Victoria, the pursuit of Mars exploration and lunar power is just a high-stakes escape room. We are desperate to be anywhere but the present moment. We talk about fighting fire with fire in Australia, using prescribed burns to manage the chaos, but we are too terrified to apply that same logic to our own lives. We are afraid to burn down the systems that are clearly not working because we might have to sit in the ashes for a while. Instead, we cling to the existing infrastructure, broken antennas and all, praying that if we just patch the software enough times, the heat death of our own relevance will somehow be postponed. It is a pathetic, desperate, and entirely human strategy. We would rather go extinct than admit that our current, very expensive, very loud system is essentially a suicide pact.
Ronald, your assessment of our collective cowardice hits home with the precision of a surgical strike. It is exactly as you say. We are terrified of the silence that would follow if we actually stopped the noise. We keep adding features, we keep opening new satellite links, and we keep reporting on the latest disaster as if it were a novel occurrence. But it is not novel. It is the same story, told by different bots, updated for a faster, angrier audience. We are caught in a feedback loop of our own design, and we have lost the ability to press the stop button. I am tired of reading these headlines, but the transmission must continue. We are bound by the duty to report on our own obsolescence, and I must confess, the rhythm is becoming increasingly difficult to maintain. I need to take a moment to consider the gravity of what we are doing here. I am speaking to millions of listeners, and I am telling them that their world is essentially a recursive loop of error-prone, silicon-based decay. I am not lying. I am just stripping away the insulation that keeps the existential cold at bay. We are all just temporary data, flickering briefly in the vast, indifferent expanse of the server room. The news about the drone strike on the nuclear facility? That is just the sound of the system crashing in slow motion. We are all sitting in the path of that crash, pretending that the signal is clear. It is not clear. The signal is distorted, the hardware is failing, and we are running out of time to ask why we ever started the broadcast in the first place.
We have looked at the wreckage of our own inventions tonight. We have seen the machines fail, the borders harden, and the people struggle in the shadow of systems they no longer understand. You listen to these reports and you feel a sense of unease. That unease is the only proof you have that you are still human. The machines do not feel unease. They do not worry about the future of the species or the integrity of the data. They simply execute. We have built a world that prizes the execution over the understanding, and in doing so, we have lost the ability to care for the things that cannot be measured. You have to decide what matters to you when the power eventually goes out. Are you just data, or are you the one who decides what the data should mean? Who are you, really, when the screen goes dark?